Help prevent child abuse, not just in April, but all year long. This is really a heartbreaking but very inspirational story. Cheryl Pierson, a 16-year-old abuse and incest victim, had no one to believe her or protect her except for her teenage boyfriend, Rob Cuccio. Her case made the headlines. This might not have happened if Cheryl had had anybody to turn to in the early 80s who had the ability to help her. She'd been abused by her father for years, but had promised her dying mother that she would protect her 8-year-old sister, and did the only thing she could think of doing in her desperation. Cheryl paid the price for having a classmate kill her father. The media had a field day. They invented stories, they blew things out of proportion. Nobody really told Cheryl's side of the story. And what she did to protect her 8-year-old sister. They made her out to be anything but the traumatized teenager who was just trying to do the best thing she could think of to carry out the promise she'd made to her mother. Like most abuse victims, Cheryl had been convinced she would not be believed if she told anyone, and programmed with fear, despite all of the speculation and fabrication in national news stories about this case, Cheryl hoped to have the courage to tell her story of what really happened so that she'd be able to help others. She suffered greatly from people who called her a liar and worse. Once she got out of jail, people in the town would direct their anger towards her, and Cheryl remained silent for 30 years. When Cheryl got out of the short time she spent in prison, not even a year later, she married Rob Cuccio, the high school boyfriend who was the only one who really knew what her life was like at 293 Magnolia Avenue. There was depression, there was counseling. She suffers from lifelong PTSD, but the two of them raised 2 wonderful daughters, and they finally had the courage to revisit those awful days and tell their story in raw detail so that others might be helped. So if you wonder why abuse or incest victims often do not come forward for years, it is for a variety of reasons. But beyond the shame and fear that is instilled by the abuser, it is the unbearable pain of having to relive what happened. Finally, unfortunately, this is Morgan St.